embarking on a journey through the cosmos. Galaxies shine with every step we take. Voyagers of time and space, we wander. Uncharted paths our destinies will make. Drifting through timelines. Drifting through timelines. Stars unfold their stories in the twilight. Travelers intertwine in cosmic streams. With every pulse, new horizons waiting. Futures born from yesterday's lost dreams. Drifting through timelines. Drifting through timelines. Navigate the solid mysteries. Wormholes flicker, calling us to fly. Every leap a note in endless symphonies. Together we glide through universal seas of stars. Drifting through timelines. Drifting through timelines.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my weekend live stream. I'm the Sci-Fi Historian, and welcome to episode 11 of my sci-fi TV shows, movies, and pop culture discussions. And most likely a watch party if my co-host is up for it. And speaking of co-hosts, please welcome the one, the only PvP. Hello,
Hey, Dan.
PvP.
How you doing?
And everyone on the panel and in the audience is giving PvP a nice round of applause. Yeah, we got to build up your ego enough to become the next premier of BC up there.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be hard to do, I'll tell you. I could probably do a much better job than the clown we got in there now, Dan. But you live in California, so you're probably familiar with political clowns.
Yeah, Grissom Newsom, the one of many clowns that's tearing up our state, going down the drain. Wonderful.
And I hear he wants to be president in the next election. Hey, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, imagine what he's doing in California, only on a national stage for the U.S.
Yeah,
very nice.
Pretty scary thought, actually, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, and I do have an article lined up for us to check out. This article is best Star Trek Next Generation episodes, and from your memory, did we cover this a long time ago or not really?
I don't remember. We might have, but I don't remember at this point. But at least I have a chance of getting these because I have watched a fair bit of Next Generation. I actually probably watched most of them, come to think of it.
All right, and then let's see here. At the bottom of this list to them is the two Data Brother episodes where Data finds his long lost brother Lore.
That's a good one. Yeah, good two-parter, I'd say. Nice to get a lot of backstory on Data.
Yeah, plus it shows how talented Brent Spiner is in playing multiple characters, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, Lore is pretty evil, so that's kind of fun. So yeah, yeah, I like that episode. It's a good one. Excuse me.
And this is an example of what of a I'm going to say probably a bad family brother relationship, even though they're two brothers in theory, and they come from the same father.
Excuse me, I had to take a time out there from a coughing streak. Yeah, well, technically, I don't know. Well, father in a sense, even though not biological, of course. But yeah, Doctor Soon was it? If I remember his name, uh, he wasn't kind of all there himself, was he? Wasn't he a little bit of a quack, a little bit crazy at times, if I remember?
Well, he was extremely old, so yeah, he probably was a little cuckoo a little bit after a long life.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously he had failure with Laura before he got success with Data, so he obviously didn't get everything right the first time. So yeah, yeah, I think it's a solid episode. Are we going to rate this like 1 out of 10 or something, or are we just going to say good, very good, whatever?
I've seen some of these episodes, but please no, I'm not the biggest fan of Next Generation, judging by
I'm not
my
either.
judging by my opinion of Picard and certain crew members. I'm more of a DS9 fan. So my opinion on this episode, I think I saw it only once, bits and pieces of it. I would say
Uh,
it's on probably a middle of the road episode. I'll give it a not a full on five. I'll say a 5.5 out of 10. I would give this one. I mean, I could just hear the Star Trek Next Generation fans. That's too harsh. Hey, look, I haven't seen it, but I did not find it that well. It is semi good, but not full on good. If you catch my drift, at least I thought it was.
well, it's good, but when I look back, actually thinking, did they really need a two-parter? I think they could have covered it in one episode, actually, which probably would have been a better thing.
All right, then up next on this list we have the conundrum. Memory loss is
Conundrum.
never an easy foe. Well,
Okay.
I
What's
haven't
that
seen.
one?
I
What's that
haven't.
one about again? What's the caption here?
According to this is a season 5, episode 14. It's a curious episode with a simplistic plot that involved a little to no fighting at all. The crew is about an ordinary day when all their memories are completely wiped, resulting in them having no recollection of who they are, what their roles are, and their mission of
Oh,
is.
yeah. Okay, I remember it now. Actually, not a bad episode because they don't know their roles. None of them know what they are, so they all kind of make guesses, just judging by looking at each other what they should be. And I don't think they even make Picard captain. I think they make Riker captain. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but they all basically end up playing different parts of the crew. Like I don't know what Worf was if he stayed in the defense role, or I can't remember offhand, but it was kind of fun the way they mixed the characters around, and they were all kind of guessing as to what their function on the ship was. So that was all right. I'd probably rate it about the same as the previous one. Kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah, and I could just picture Picard's role, even though I haven't seen the episode. Picard, diplomatic officer only. No, take him out of combat. Just keep him in his cabin until the fighting's over. We bring him out to negotiate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what I think. You know what I think about Picard, right? Like next to Kirk, he's a pussy. I'll just say it.
Yeah,
Never cared for Picard.
Picard, Cisco. I mean, Kirk, Cisco, and Picard. Am I saying right? Kirk,
Yeah.
Cisco, and Picard. Yeah, those are my three rankings.
That's what I rank them to. They're the same. The same. Because I could never take Janeway seriously because she made too many command bad decisions. on the bridge, and Enterprise to me is always kind of, I mean, it's still a real Trek, but it's kind of an afterthought after the other four shows. So yeah, I go with the original series, and then Deep Space Nine, and then Next Gen's a third, far distant third. I mean, I enjoyed it when it was original airing on TV because I watched it back in the day. And I enjoyed it. Like when you had only one episode a week, it was easier to enjoy because the mediocre ones didn't pile up quite like now if you binge it, right? And then you really notice the inconsistencies if you binge watch this show. Um, so yeah, it's not aged well. I'll put it that way. It has not aged well.
Yeah, and I would say is binging a show has its advantages and disadvantages. If you like a show that has very good pacing and my Star Wars fan background, good pacing, decent action, and a good plot that's woven into the action, it's a good. I'll watch the show, but if it's a filler main show with, well, I don't mind debates or dialogue. Just don't make it a long, drawn out episode or dialogue about like, I get it. You're debating which side will win this, and like yada yada yada. Now you're just yammering on. Just prove it in battle already. Don't yammer on for like a full on 45 minutes or a two-parter episode where they yammer on constantly.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the episodes I actually really like tend to be talky like that, right? And that does get boring after a while.
All right, then up next on this list we have yesterday's Enterprise. I did see this episode. This was a good episode. I give this one a 7 out of 10.
I really like this one.
Well, I may be a little harsh myself. Hold on, I'll give it a solid 8. Yeah, an 8 out of 10. This one.
Yeah, I'd probably give it. I'll probably be generous and give it a 9 because I think this is one of the best episodes of the series. Getting Tasha back, even though it's an alternate universe, Tasha was still cool, and I love how they're up against all those different universes that are accumulating. And what is it at the end? There's like a dozen Enterprises or something, and they're all being attacked, and Riker's freaking out, and everybody's freaking out, and the only way any of them survive is to go on to Tasha's yesterday's ship and escape that way, which I guess I can't remember who does other than Tasha. I think there's another crew member that escapes with her, and don't they end up having a kid or something?
I know vaguely what episode you're mishmashing a plot from another episode. This one towards the end of the episode, to save the timeline, the yesterday's Enterprise had to go back in time, and Tal Shiar tagged along because there was no full-on experienced officer or tactical officer for the crew anymore since they were killed off.
Okay, so it's an alternate ending for the character. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen this in ages.
And a time paradox, because now Tal Shiar is in the past to fix the original timeline, so she's a paradox now.
Yeah, well, I generally don't like time travel episodes, but this one works okay for me. I don't mind it.
All right, then up next, let's see here. We have Data's Day. I don't think I've seen this episode. I may have seen parts of it, but I haven't seen most of it.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I've seen it. It's kind of a little more lighthearted. I mean, Data just goes through his day, basically. It is exactly what it says it is. And yeah, it's interesting to see Data go through the whole day on the ship and interact with all the different people he interacts with. And I wouldn't say it's a very serious. I don't remember any great drama or anything in the episode. But it's like it says here, amusing and insightful internal monologue that adds a lot of content and flavor to his actions and words. So I pretty much agree with that caption under there. It's a fun episode. I'll put it that way down. If you've never seen it, I recommend giving it a watch because it is worth at least one watch.
All right, then next on this list we have Borg. I think I've seen this episode once or twice, and this one,
yeah,
Mm,
Not a favorite for me. Actually,
yeah,
I don't like this episode very much. Actually, Dan.
this one, yeah, I would agree with you, PvP. It's on my lower end ranking. If I mean, it's not terrible or bad. It's just low level okay, and low level okay for me is like a 5 or 4.5 out of 10.
Well, you know, to me, this is the beginning of the end of the Borg being scary because they bring what they call him Hugh. I think it was Hugh,
Yes.
the Borg guy, and they try it basically instead of being defensive, which is what they should have done. They treat him like a welcome guest and try to humanize him, which to me is the dumbest idea. To humanize the Borg is one of the dumbest ideas Next Generation ever had. Well, you know, it's like, you know, let's have cuddly, friendly Klingons in the original series. Like, yeah, that'll work out, won't it? Yeah, no, not a problem. You know, it's like the critical drinker would say, "No, it'll be fine." You
Yeah.
know, it
And I
didn't
will,
work.
yeah, and I will say is if this is the episode I'm thinking of, Geordi and Data, where we're thinking about introducing a virus or a puzzle virus that would destroy the Borg collective, and
Yeah.
Picard said no, and I'm saying, when think about it, it's like, do it. You destroy a very powerful enemy. Do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was just possibly Picard's worst command decision in the entire series. I mean, he's down at Janeway level when he made that decision, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
It was
but then
just dumb, you know?
I can just hear Picard's defenders. Well, he was being humane to the Borg. Well, humane to a enemy that wants you unalive or absorbed into their collective hive mind that does not care about your individuality. You really want to show sympathy or humanize those guys? I don't think so.
Well, the thing is, was this before the Wolf 359 battle or whatever it was?
No,
Uh,
this was after it's season 5, episode 23. The the uh, the the Battle Wolf 359 was the either season 2 or season 3 finale. I think it
okay,
was.
I'm wondering because I remember the start of Deep Space Nine. That's a key part in the first episode of DSN, and I'm just wondering how the timeline it might be different between the two series, how they match up. I'm not sure, but you know, I'm thinking if that battle hadn't happened at this point in the Deep Space Nine universe, perhaps Picard's decision, you know, killed a lot of Federation people that might have been alive.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know,
they did say the number later on in a episode called the Drumhead. I think they did. They said the number
okay.
was over 11,000 crew members and civilians killed in that battle.
Yeah, and I don't know if Picard's decision in this episode affected that outcome or not, because I guess you'd have to figure it out by star date or whatever would probably be the most accurate way to do it.
Mm.
But I don't
Well,
have the star dates handy, so
um, Borg, if you go by the season number and the star date, blah blah blah, this takes place, I think, 1 or 2 years after the battle with 359, and this Borg was isolated from the collective.
okay. I still think it's one of Picard's, you know, worst decisions in the whole show. I don't agree with it. I didn't agree with it the first time I saw it. I thought, well, that's dumb. So, you know, that's one reason I kind of, over the years, just started to lose my connection with this show because there were just too many episodes like this. As I just thought, really, guys, really, writers, you know, you want to go this direction? Okay.
They always want to do the more high ground argument. They do.
Well, you know, I think Roddenberry was he alive at this point, or had he passed on?
Honestly, I don't know.
Because I know he was active in the early seasons. If this was season 3, he might have still been hanging around the studio when he was still a part of it. Because I think eventually, didn't the studio just kick him off the set? And it's like, Gene, sorry, Gene, no. Just like on the 3rd season of the original series, they basically, you know, the studio basically got rid of him because he loved to meddle, right? He had his vision of Star Trek, and it's like his vision is the only vision, which I always got that feeling from Roddenberry anytime, you know, I read anything about what he was like back in those days. And so, this could have been a Roddenberry influenced decision to make Picard do this. I'm just taking a wild guess there, Dan, but I wouldn't be shocked or surprised if it was that way.
Yeah, and if I had to guess, I mean, I may be speaking out of my behind, but there is a theory coming around the community and in the online. Was he? I mean, we've probably discussed this previously. I think he was either did direct input or was on the set giving pointers of the first two seasons of Next Generation, and that's why. Well, I find the first two seasons of Generations very boring. I do.
They're generally terrible. There's a few standout. I'd say maybe a handful in the first 2 years. What was it? 44 episodes, I guess it would have been. I'd say out of that, there's maybe 5 or 6 I actually really like. Like the first one of Q when he sends them to meet the Borg. That's a great episode.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites of the whole series. So there are a few really good episodes when the writers actually got their act together and, got on track for a brief time. But, that said, for every great one like that, there were probably 5 or 6 that kind of sucked. So,
Yeah, well, I know that we're just tearing apart the Next Generation show, and I know there are fans out there that love this show, but
oh yeah, of course.
You say that it aged poorly. About how much of it aged poorly? About half of it, or only about a quarter of the full show?
Well, there's 7 seasons. You could pretty well write off most of the first 2, so that takes us down to 5 seasons. On the number of episodes, I don't know what that exactly would work out to with the last 5 seasons of the show, but
5 seasons.
I thought through the whole series there was a lot of inconsistency.
It's quite simple, PV. If you do average length of a season back then was what, 22 episodes, so 22 times 5, about 110 episodes.
Yeah,
and for 5 seasons, if I had to guess, probably about maybe half of those are good to possibly perfect episodes, and the latter half not very good. So if you do that, probably in the 7 years of Next Generation, probably about 2.5 to 3 seasons were good Next Generation material.
Yeah, probably couldn't go higher than about 3. That would probably be being kind to it. So yeah, I mean, I the only honest way to do it would be to go episode by episode and watch a recap. I'm not saying watch every damn episode because that would take too long, but just watch it like if you could get like a 5-minute recap per episode, that would be interesting to do actually. But I'm not going to do it because I don't care about the show enough anymore.
Yeah, and I could just picture one episode top being in this episode. Picard becomes a prick, self-righteous captain, tells off the enemy, fires a few shots, and then calls a conference, and then the episode ends. Bye.
Yeah, well, I never liked the conference. I never liked the conference room.
All right, then up next on this list we have Chain of Command, season 6, episodes 10 and 11. From what this writer says.
Another 2-parter? I think I vaguely remember this one. Is this the one where they torture the Cardassians, grab Picard and torture his ass?
Yes.
This one was actually pretty decent, I thought. Once again, I don't know if it needed two episodes, but I remember the torture. Like, they didn't pull any punches with this one. I mean, they really did kick the crap out of Picard, so... Yeah, I thought it was, decent episodes,
Yeah, and, well, I'll keep saying it. I haven't seen these episodes. I've seen clips of these episodes, but I haven't seen all of it. From the clips I've seen, they're probably, if the clips I see, or as anything go by the episodes, I give these episodes, I see them a solid 6.5 or 7 out of 10, probably.
I'd probably go with 7. If I remember, because I remember watching it and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty decent. And they really put Picard through the ringer. Like, and this probably was this the first Cardassian introduction in Star Trek. I think it might have been actually. And they were actually more brutal in this than they probably were in a lot of the DS9 episodes. Because DS9, sometimes they were almost like they could almost be allies if the situation was, necessary for them to kind of go easy on the Federation. I remember there were episodes like that. And then of course you had Garrick, who was kind of friendly with the Federation because it suited him. Ha ha. Joke intended. It suited him. You get it, Dan?
Yeah.
But this is a good one. I would say solid. I haven't seen it in like 20 years probably, but I remember enjoying it when I did watch it. So yeah, I'll give this one a 7. What the heck?
All right, and this either may be the first episode of the Cardassians, or they introduced them earlier with the Maquis plot line. I'm not sure when that was. I think it was season 4 or 5.
Oh boy, it's been a long time since I thought about the Maquis. That's more Voyager, though, isn't it? In a way.
And
I don't remember. I don't remember when they got introduced. I really don't, Ben.
The Maquis were in all 3 shows: Next Generation, DS9, and Voyager. But Voyager ditched that the first chance it got. DS9, they did that for a few episodes in a few seasons, but beyond that, they ended that. And then for Next Generation, they started that, I would say.
I always thought the Maquis as a concept didn't go anywhere. Like, I remember when we got to Voyager, and wasn't it Chakotay and some of the other crew were actually Maquis originally, and then when they got trapped in the other quadrant, they kind of had to pull together with the Federation officers, and they kind of had a truce, but they were Maquis, I think, originally, some of the crew on Voyager.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, so, but I never thought the Maquis concept really. I never found it very compelling or interesting, to be honest. It didn't do much for me.
I mean, if you want to do a show or series about the outer colonies that are in Cardassian space, they struggle. Then they could have formed a semi-autonomous government within the Cardassian side of the border they're on, or space, but then they would have to fight the entire Cardassian Central Command. That would be a full-on regional war between the Maquis and the Cardassian Union government, and that would be the Maquis doing guerrilla tactics and trying to pull together what limited resources they have on their colony planets that they have developed their semi-nation or resurgence area, develop mining for metals, or do replicator technology, try to get industrial size type of those to replicate and build ships like maybe the Defiant class, the Sovereign class, the Galaxy class, the Intrepid class, and maybe a few others.
Yeah, I can't remember how strong the Maquis were. I really don't remember much about them. But
they weren't that strong. They were mainly an insurgents group on the Cardassian side of the border. They hated being with the Cardassian Union.
Yeah.
They hated the Cardassian Federation Treaty.
I kind of remember them more as just like outcast terrorist group kind of thing. So I don't think they really had much of a core to them. I think, there's even within the Maquis, I bet there's factions within the Maquis that don't really care about each other. So I kind of thought they were a weak concept to begin with. And if they came up against the Cardassians would probably mop the floor with them, to be honest. I don't think it would last long.
I would say my idea sounds a lot more interesting than what the original Star Trek introduced.
Yeah, the Maquis. I don't see the Maquis as being necessary to Star Trek at all. Really, they're kind of superfluous. Whatever. I can't think of the word.
Superfluous.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I think they were trying to show that not everything is paradise everywhere in the Federation. They're trying to show some semi conflict or dissatisfaction within the Federation or their section of space between the Federation Cleons and the Cardassians, and then it sort of died off real quick as well, just like you said, PvP. If they Well, and like I said, they're on the Cardassian side of the border. And if I had to guess, I'm theorizing here, they probably had about 6 or 7 colonies on the Cardassian side of the border that they're in, and they had provided guess probably between those 7 or 8 planets that they colonized, a population between maybe no more than a few thousand per planet, which if you sum that up, probably a population no more than, if I want to be generous, 50,000 people on those 7 planets within the Cardassian side of the border, and that's being very generous. And they have trouble developing their own resources or populations.
I don't think they had enough of a population base to do much. Exactly what you're saying. They were just very limited because they didn't have the population. And you know, how many millions of Cardassians are probably out there? Like, I would imagine a lot.
Probably a few billion.
Yeah, so there's no. I mean, I think the Cardassians would take them out. All they need is 1 or 2 big strikes on their main bases, and the Maquis would be over, basically.
All right, then up next, let's see here. We have All Good Things, the end of the Next Generation, the final 2 episodes.
Decent. I don't mind it. Doesn't it go back with some of the stuff from the first episode with Q, though? That kind of annoys me.
Yeah, it's a multi-reality time travel episode from the clips I see.
They do time jumps all through the damned episodes. So yeah, not a favorite. I thought for the ending of a show that lasted 7 years, they could have done better. I don't know. I'll give this one like maybe a 5.5.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but from the clips I've seen of it, especially the Q speeches at the end, I would give it a 5 out of 10 probably. Then the last but not least is the best of both worlds. And some would argue the best of TNG right here.
Well, I would say part 1 is great. Part 2 kind of bugged me because it kind of pussied out in a bad way. It wasn't. I would say I would give the part 1 a 9. I would give part 2 maybe a 5.5. Like, I was disappointed because we had to wait a whole summer, Dan, between seeing these. Remember back then, right? So we were on the edge of our seat for like 3.5, 4 months waiting for part 2 to come out in the fall. And when it did come out, and I was eagerly anticipating, the Riker's last line, was great in the first one, and we were all anticipating, part 2 is going to really kick butt, and then basically it didn't.
Yeah, and the famous line, "Mr. Worf, fire."
Oh yeah, probably Riker's best line in the whole series.
Yeah, and I would say this: the second episode, they if you ever know the term ex machina, their way out of trouble in the Federation too. They gave their plot armor was so damn thick that the Borg could not even touch anything. If you get my meaning.
Yeah. Even when they had Picard, I mean, I found them scarier in the first episode when Q introduced the Borg. That was a scarier episode than this was.
Yeah, and I would say this. And this is when they introduced the battle with 359 in season 3, episode 26, and season 4, episode 1. This was when the battle happened. I would say, I don't think they ever said that the cube took any damage from the Federation fleet. So basically, the Borg was curve stopping the Federation nonstop. So basically, if you think logically about it, instead of rider convenience, that's in the Federation and the human race, or the Federation in general. The Federation's dead if you go by semi-logic instead of rider plot convenience.
Well, the thing is, too, I mean, I remember when Deep Space Nine started in the first episode with Cisco, he was not happy with what happened. He was not impressed with Picard's, you know, because Picard was kind of running the Borg, I guess, during that battle, was he not? Uh,
Yeah. If I had to guess, he was a drone advisor because he had all the knowledge and tactics of the Federation
yeah,
and all their strategies and all that.
and they would have used that during the battle. So I remember Cisco, that first episode, he hated Picard's guts, basically. He lost his wife, and he was largely blaming Picard for that. And I don't think he was too off base to do that. Actually, I think Cisco had a reason for resenting Picard's involvement in that whole scenario. So
And
yeah,
there's always a debate that fans and all that, like, was it really Picard's fault or was it the Borg's fault that used him
well, I
and his
mean,
knowledge and all that?
you could say Picard was just a helpless puppet, in a sense, right? Because he really didn't have control over himself. So I can't hate him 100% for being, part of the operations in the Wolf battle, but still, I can understand Cisco's anger against him too, because he was involved. Picard was involved, so you know, maybe I don't know if Picard could have fought it more, because we always think, a strong captain, even if he's been compromised like he has here, would try to at least fight off the effects of what was compromising him. Uh, I mean, I'm sure Kirk would. I mean, there were episodes where TOS where Kirk was compromised in some way by an alien force, and even if he didn't have much power to control the situation when it started, he would still resist, and fight it, right? You know, even if he had to do it in a subtle manner, not to get his butt kicked by the aliens, but whereas Picard, I don't know. I don't know if it was ever clear that he actually put up much of a fight, uh, you know, against the Borg controlling him. I don't know if that was ever clear in these episodes, come to think of it.
Yeah, and I
So,
do have a question. Judging by the tone and all that, at the end of season 3, I got the feeling that they were trying to write off Picard as a character. I mean, could call me either optimistic or a very evil person for saying this, but I was expecting Picard to be killed off in season 4, like his character's killed off, and then Riker becomes full-on captain of the Enterprise. There'll be the Riker show from then on, basically.
I think actually fans like myself would not have minded that, because I always thought Riker was a lot more in the Kirk mold than Picard ever was. Because Riker could think on his feet. I don't think Riker like going for conference and sitting around the conference table for 15 minutes while the enemy was going to blast them. I don't think Riker ever was into that, really. He didn't seem like the type of guy, that type of officer that really, the only reason, of course, was being loyal to Captain Picard. But I think Riker would have been more of a man of action than Picard was. So, yeah. By the way, there's a couple episodes, probably, at least a couple episodes not on the list that, might have been good ones to put on.
All right, and that concludes this list. Hopefully, I'm able to find another one for us to share. See if I'm able to. Please stand by.
I just want to mention a couple of episodes that they could have added, because that was a list of 8. They could have done a 10. One I would have added would be Contagion. Remember the one with the alien species trying to take over the Federation towards the end of season 1, I think it was. That was a really good episode.
Is that the one with the infamous head melting scene?
Yes, it is, and I loved it. And by the way, that was the first episode of Next Generation I ever saw, and I was like, all right. I love that episode because my cousin actually taped it on his VHS machine. Jesus, I'm old. So I went on a holiday for the weekend to my cousin's because he lived in a different city that was actually broadcasting season 1. My city was not broadcasting it at all because they didn't think syndicated shows were worth picking up. Idiots. But anyway, he showed me Contagion, the first one I ever saw. And I'm like, wow, this is really good. Wow. Like it was suspense, action, phasers, exploding heads. I mean, weird looking creatures. I mean, what's not to like, right? So, I really like that. I would have put that one on this list somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the one with the computer malfunction? Remember that one, Dan, where they got they came up to another starship that was having computer malfunctions because it had downloaded an alien virus into its computer banks, and then that starship blew up, exploded right in the opening in front of them, and they were like, shields up, like really good, hot start, and then they got infected, and then they had to try and survive through the rest of the episode, fighting this computer thing, right? So that's another one I would have put on the list that I found very entertaining. But that's just me. But I think those are both worthy episodes.
Let's see here.
Anyway, you got something else?
I'm looking through the catalog of what they have here.
Try to find something interesting. Please, not too much Stargate, because I'll just glaze over. Now, if it's a Stargate Atlantis, then I have a chance. But other than that, my Stargate knowledge is very, very limited.
Let's see here. I think we did this section again, but I'm running out of ideas, and I don't want to keep my audience bored of us just talking a lot. So I do have another article for us to hear, and maybe one we did a few months ago, but here's another one for us to revisit. Okay. Maybe our opinions have changed a bit. Let's see what this one says about it. Let's see here. This one is the best bad Star Trek episodes. Let's see if our opinions have changed. If this is the last time we checked.
Oh, the best of the worst. Okay, got it.
Yes. And at the top or bottom of this list is Spock's Brain of season 3, episode 1. Me and you both seen this one. This one, yes, it should be on the list, but it's, well, what's the saying? So bad it's good, or just so bad it's just boring.
Well, I mean, if you're going with a list that's the best of the bad, this one deserves to be on here, because it is actually a guilty pleasure. Like, I hated it when I first saw it as a teenager. I loathed this episode. I thought this is graybead 50s sci-fi crap. That's all this is. And in some senses it still is, but since I rewatched it probably half a dozen times over the years, I've come to really enjoy it. Well, the Star Trek drinking game really is fun, right? You've heard of the Star Trek drinking game, right? Yeah. Every time they say brain, take a shot. It's like you'll be hammered by the end of the episode. I've never done that, by the way. I have to be honest. I've never actually tried that because I'm afraid what might happen. But
I would not be surprised if some fan actually keeps count of that, saying, "Okay, how many times?" Yeah, they said about 34 times. That's 34 shots. Go ahead, and by the interview that you'll be drinking a full bottle of whiskey or rum.
Yeah, if you took 1 ounce shots, you'd be screwed. Yeah.
All right, then up next on this list, let's see here. We have The Way of Eden. Oh, so some of the worst TOS episodes that you would agree with.
Yeah, I would put Spock's Brain above this, because this one, to me, is really cringe. This is really cringe. But it is enjoyable if you turn your brain right. If you turn your brain off, it is kind of fun. It's so cringy though. It's total cringe. The only good part about this is we get to see Chekhov's old Russian girlfriend. Remember that part? So that kind of gives it a little bit of a redemption. But oh god. Other than that, when Spock starts jamming with them, Ugh.
Yeah, or better known as the hippie episode, huh?
Space hippies. Yeah. Well, you know the thing too is I don't generally consider the original series to be very dated at all. You know, some young kids they say, "Oh, it's I won't watch it because it's probably dated, man." It's like, well, maybe you should watch it and you realize it isn't. But this is the one episode I would put my hand up and go, "This is extremely dated." And you could tell the guy that wrote this hated hippies with a passion. You can just tell the writer wanted to make hippies look as dumb and useless as a lot of them actually were back then. And boy, that writer succeeded. I'll give him credit for that.
And I will play the other side a little bit to your little criticism there. So for newer audiences, and
Ugh.
I'm gonna reach 30 pretty soon, but when they say dated, they probably not say the story is necessarily dated, but the effects and the sets look dated somewhat. And probably not the stories look dated if they actually watch the episode.
I being a watcher since '69, I generally disagree. I think the sets on the original show look a hell of a lot better than the fake garbage. I mean, Starfleet Academy, anybody? Do you think those sets look good? I don't. I think they're dismal. So yeah, I much prefer the original series sets and special effects. I actually think most of the original effects for 1960s, are pretty damn solid. I can't fault them, and I actually like them. I like the original effects better than the CGI, stuff they added like 20 years ago. I think a lot of the CGI looks really bad. I think a lot of shots of the starships that they look like, cartoons. They look cartoonish to my eyes. Whereas the actual models they used in the original effects, because they had actual physical. I mean, the original Enterprise was like what, something like 11 feet long when they filmed it in the studio. And there are videos on YouTube of the original Enterprise being filmed in the studio back then, and it was enormous. It was like an 11-foot full scale model of the Enterprise, and it looked fantastic. And they actually used that. They filmed that for a lot of the shots in the series. So I prefer an actual physical, real, physical ship. I would rather have that photographed and see that in an episode than see some CGI animation that I don't find works half the time. So, but
All
that's
right,
just
then
me.
next on this list we have, let's see here, Threshold, the Voyager episode from season 2, episode 15. I've seen this episode, I think, at least 2 times. Oh yeah, it is bad. It is.
I have not seen this one.
It's basically where Tom Paris becomes a lizard man, and so does Janeway, and they have kids at the end of the episode, and they abandon them on that planet.
Oh, that sounds atrocious. Yeah, after hearing your summary, I don't ever want to watch that.
Not even if I paid you say $5 billion to watch the episode, would you still not watch it?
How much would you pay me?
$5 billion.
Okay, you'd have to deposit it into my bank account first. And I would transfer it to another account that you could not access, so you couldn't take the money back. And at that point, I would be honest and I would actually watch it.
I know I was joking and you playing along with it, but
Well, I know you're joking. I mean, obviously, we don't have that kind of money, do we? Well, unless you're hiding something I don't know, Dan. Maybe you're a multimillionaire undercover. One of those guys.
Oh well, if I get a lot of scratches or lottery tickets and I win a huge sum of money, I'll let you know in private.
Yeah, well, if I ever won like 10 million, I'd probably share a few $1,000 with all my friends online here. Why not?
Then up next, let's see here. We have Move Along Home from DS9. Yeah, this is bad. It is.
But isn't this bad episodes that are good or something? Like, there's nothing good about Move Along Home. Not one damn thing is good about this trash.
Yeah, it's cringy. That's the main issue I have with it. It's very, very cringy. I cringe each time I see the episode.
The whole episode is. I give it a 0. Can I give it a minus 10 out of 10? How about that? It's
All right.
so bad. No, this shouldn't even be on a list where a bad episode is good. No, this is a bad episode, and that's it. It's nothing good about it. I'd say this is the worst episode of Deep Space Nine. Or it's damn close.
Really? Well, I have another episode in my memory. You probably know which one I'm gonna say. Well, Quark is a woman. In other words,
that one was funny though. That one made me laugh because the guy that went to the Hollow Suite kind of got what he deserved, right? Because it wasn't kind of a shady guy that went thinking he's going to have great sex, and then that Quark's face is on the woman's body. It's like, oh, that's really scary.
All right, then up next on this episode we have Sub Rosa.
Yeah.
Episode.
Well, once again, cringe, but I don't see much. I fail to see. Well, I guess unless you like hot redheads getting banged by a ghost, I mean, maybe that would make it fun. I don't know. I don't see much fun in it, though. I do think that the what's her name, the doctor. Oh God, I forget the actress. She was pretty hot looking, I gotta say. But that episode, that's probably one of the cringiest episodes of Next Generation. It's bad.
All right, then up next, let's see here. We have the Royale TNG Season 2, Episode 12.
I don't think that one's a bad episode, really. I don't know who puts these lists together, Dan.
I'll take your word for it, PvP, because I haven't seen the episode.
It's actually, I think it's a Season 2 episode.
Yeah, Season 2, Episode 12.
It's actually not bad. I found it entertaining from beginning to end. They get trapped in like some, the Royale is like a hotel. They get trapped in it. I can't remember how that happens, but some of the crew get trapped. I think it's Data and Riker, and they can't leave. They can't get out. They can't beam out. I guess there's like something blocking the transporters. And anyway, they kind of have to play through the program or whatever it is to finally escape. And it's basically a lot of gambling, and it's actually, I found it a pretty fun episode, actually. I would say give it a watch. It's not bad. I wouldn't put it on a bad list. There's probably 100 episodes worse than this thing. So, yeah, I think I liked the Royale. It was one of the ones I liked in the first couple of years. I found it, not fabulous, but it was not bad. That's for sure. I would have given it a good, maybe a 5 or something,
So, tell me, do they win every time with Data's robotic abilities, or do they lose sometimes?
I can't remember. I remember there's one scene where Riker goes up to one of the rooms, and he's like, well, let's check on the guests, like, since nobody can leave. And Riker pulls the cover off of a bed, and there's a couple of skeletons on there, which is really creepy. But it's like, oh, well, I guess they really don't leave kind of scenario, right? So that kind of upped the stakes. That made the episode a little scary, actually, at that point. So,
all right, then up next, let's see here. A Fistful of Datas. This should not be on the list. This is actually a fun episode.
Definitely not.
With Data versus basically Worf in this one.
This is a really good, fun episode. It's like, it's a takeoff on the old Clint Eastwood spaghetti western, A Fistful of Dollars, right?
Yes.
I think this is I'd say this episode's very good. Was the guy smoking crack when he made this list, Dan? Seriously? I mean, oh my. This is a good one.
Yes, I've seen it once, and it was a pretty damn good episode, especially where Worf and his son bond over, and how Worf actually likes playing in the Old West, because well, in a way, it satisfies his Klingon nature too. It does.
Well, the thing is, it's one of the few episodes where I find Worf absolutely hilarious too, because he really gets into it. It's kind of funny to see him, because Worf is perfect to be a gunslinger, right? He's perfect. Let's face it. So yeah, I would give this one like a 7 out of 10, man. This is a good one.
Yeah, so would I. I'll be as bold as giving it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, well, yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. It's a very good episode.
All right, then up next, let's see here. We have Racials? Is that how you say it?
Rascals.
Hmm.
This is the
See,
one where the crew gets turned into children.
oh, joy.
Actually, it's not bad. I actually like this episode. I know it sounds cringe just to describe it, but actually the episode's worth a watch, Dan, because the young actors, representing our crew members here, they're actually pretty darn solid. They give in really good performances as the child versions of the crew that got affected by, I can't remember what the hell affected the Enterprise, but something did. That's not really important though. They do, they're basically transformed into like 12-year-olds or whatever the hell they are, and they've got to try and of course as kids I think they still have their adult knowledge, but they've got to try and figure out how to make everything. Well, they basically got to figure out what the hell happened, basically. And I found it entertaining. I would probably give it a 5 or 6. I thought it was a solid episode. Definitely does not deserve to be on a bad list.
Hmm. I can just picture the four adult actors offset or off screen going, yeah, I'm flattered that you know my character so damn well. Thanks, son.
I just think they were probably on a beach somewhere, sipping a margarita, going, "Oh, I got a week off."
Yeah, and they still get paid for it, or do they not?
They probably come back at the end of the episode as well. They're probably adults at the start, if I remember, and then they're adults again at the end, of course. Yeah, so they probably did still have to put in a couple hours work.
All right, and let's see, is this the last one? Yes, it is. This is the last one right here.
Well, I'd say there's probably half that list I don't agree with.
Yeah, at least 1 or 2 episodes on this list should not be on the list.
I'd say a lot of the last half of the list is very poor.
Hmm.
The top of the list, I can agree.
This writer,
I agree with the space hippies, and I agree with Spock's brain. Those are definitely kind of good bad ones. Those I would agree with, but a lot of the other ones, especially the Next Generation ones, I think the writer missed the boat, man. I really do.
Oh, well, according to this writer or contributor, her expertise is Star Trek, The Walking Dead, and AMC. Really? Star Trek, well, she's probably a casual Trek fan, not a hardcore one or a classical one like we are.
Okay, so if she's like one of her credentials is The Walking Dead, I'm guessing she wasn't born when TNG was on the air.
Well, if you go by her profile, which I would take as a grain of sand, she looks probably in her mid-20s, if I had to guess, probably.
That's my point. She wasn't even conceived when Next Generation aired. So tell me this. Give me okay. If you can prove that this woman watched every episode of Next Generation, I might give you $1 million. Okay. Because I don't think you ever will.
Okay, I'll check my banking information. I'll make sure it's all in order, then I'll put it inside my bank account for sure. Alrighty, and now we're gonna go to a small watch party phase of this stream, but it's not the stream you think of this time PvP. We're gonna switch genres a little bit. We're gonna do a Star Wars watch party to a certain extent.
Oh gosh.
It's not about politics or any of that. I mean, I tried that once before a few months ago or a year or two ago with you. This is basically a movie of thematic trailers for a Old Republic video game. It's a action movie, basically clip show put together as a movie. And maybe we will enjoy it, or you will fall asleep or lose interest. Let's see.
Yeah, I was hoping for a Star Trek episode. Oh well.
Sorry to disappoint you, PvP, but I wanted to switch things up a little bit. Alrighty. Now, if you let's see here. Oh, there it is. I don't have to share this yet because if I do, I'll get copyrighted. Let's see here. If you're in my Cosby link to PvP, I could start watching it
Yeah,
with us. Let's see
I
here.
got
The,
it
the
here
title of
somewhere.
this is, let's see here. Damn it. Let's see
Okay.
here. Come on. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm trying to set it up just right.
Well, it's spinning a
Are
lot.
you in PvP?
Well, it's spinning. Not working.
All right. Well, if you're in, and if it is playing for us, let's go ahead and
Okay, give it a go. Try it again.
start. Is it working for you?
Nope. Still spinning.
Not even at the Lucas Arts phase.
Oh, let me try again.
You may have to refresh it. PvP.
Okay, reloading. There we
All
go.
right,
It looks like it took this time.
All right. If it says Lucas Arts, I'm going to press play again for this.
Yeah, I got it.
Let's see here. Come on. There we are.
Oh, it's real. Cosby's really not being happy today. I got the circle of death again. I think I might have to bail.
Fine, keep the artifacts. Just give me back my ship.
Say that again, PvP.
I can't get it to work.
Say that again, PvP.
I can't get it to work. Can you hear anything?
Yeah, I can hear you on my end. All right, let's see here.
Not working.
I can send you a link to what I'm using here for us to watch. Let's see here.
Cosby is
Let's
not
see
working for me
if
at
the
all.
private chat link works for us. Okay, let's see here if this works.
Ugh.
Oh, rats. And let me try this again. Let's see here. I have to go to my YouTube side now and install it that way. Let's see here. Come on, open up YouTube here. Come on. Star Wars Old Republic. Movie. Let's see what that comes up. Come on. Let's see here if it's going to work for us. Please stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, wrong one. Come on. Yes, thank you very much. There we are. Let's see here. All right, PvP. Let's see if my chat pops up on YouTube just in time for us to check this out. Come on.
On the YouTube channel?
Yeah, on the YouTube side. Okay, I just put in the YouTube link for us to watch.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, and if you want to start roughly towards the beginning of the video, the official video starts roughly at 20 seconds.
Okay, I'm just scrolling through. I will pause it at 20 then, if that's what you want.
All right. And who knows, you may enjoy this little Star Wars movie.
Okay, I paused at 20. I paused at 20.
All right, and let's go ahead and continue the show in three, two, one.
Okay.
Nice Twi'lek soldier.
So is this guy supposed to be like a Han Solo type dude?
The one with the hat, yes.
Okay, got it. You know that guy needs to get some ointment on his bald head there. That looks painful. Wow, what a shock! Definitely Han Solo.
Yeah, Han Solo-ish. Oh, bye-bye soldiers. Yeah, he's Han Solo. Nice hit. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Yes, get them. Kill them. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Nice. Impaled him through the stomach. You gotta do better than that, Jedi. Then you have an angry bastard biting on your heels. Oh, too bad. You put up a good fight. All right, PP, if you want to pause it for a second right there.
All
That
right.
is unofficially the first trailer of that roughly show. So what did you think of that first trailer of the movie?
Well, there was lots of super heroics. I mean, it was fine. I liked they had a throwback to Han Solo. That was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why they gave him like an Antonio Banderas Zorro hat. I'm not quite sure about that, Dan.
Well, I guess they were trying to do a Han Solo-ish type of character, and that's what they went with.
Yeah, okay. You
All
almost
right,
said
and if you're willing
haunch.
to,
You almost said haunch Solo. I was thinking like, how about an alternate Star Wars universe with Hunchback Solo? Wow, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
all right, PP, if you're willing to press play again, we're gonna go
Yeah.
to the next semi-trailer.
Okay, I got a couple of mountains, White Mountains here. So I'm
All right.
at 5:59.
All right, I'm there.
Okay, one, two, three. Countdown. Hello.
Go ahead and press play. Go ahead and press play, PP. I'm at 6:10 right now.
Okay.
Tell me when you're at 6:10 roughly for me to press play. Are you at 6:10?
I am now.
All right. Bye bye, droids. Ooh, nice shot, but you only made him angry or to pay attention to you. Get him. Nice try. But you're not much for a Sith Lord.
Hey Dan, I take it stormtroopers are the equivalent of red shirts because they're always getting killed.
The reinforcements have arrived. It's the apprentice from the first.
As Deadpool would have said, uh, uh, hero landing, hero landing. Oh, that's what I was need.
Get him. Come on. Clever move. Oh, chopped the lightsaber in half. Ooh, impressive. Most impressive.
Is she holding that lightsaber off with her hand?
Yes, I will tell you a little bit later once this section ends.
I was just going to mention she must be really good at hand jobs. And too much.
Well, She sure no gave him a hand job.
Too much? Okay.
Ooh, get him, girl, nail him.
Boom. Well, he got his rocks off.
The ironic thing, a minor spoiler, he's still alive after that. He's just buried under a ton of rock.
Well, yeah, isn't that a Star Wars trademark though? These people, yeah, any mere mortal would be dead 100 times over, but they always survive, right?
Yes.
Doesn't look so good though.
This trooper, no.
Okay. Oh, there's always the promise of peace. And fortunately, it never arrives, so we can keep doing stories.
All right, PP, if you want to pause it at 10:50 right now, or a little 10:54,
Pause.
maybe.
Paused.
All right. So what'd you think of that second half of that trailer?
Fine.
Yeah, especially where the Jedi and the Sith face off against each other.
Yeah, it was fine. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not really a hardcore Star Wars fan though, Dan. So
Yeah, and you probably have put two and two together. You do know that this movie does a steady timeline between each part. So first part was the beginning. Middle part is where those two characters meet again. Third part is the bald guy's, well, where his part ends. Well, it's a minor spoiler, but he doesn't show up in any other videos for a while. Then the other few are different parts of the Star Wars universe from a different perspective.
okay.
And so the one that what time did you pause it at, PvP?
I'm at 11:04.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I'm going.
Nice moves. She's a Mandalorian bounty hunter.
Okay. It seems like this would have been better than the theaters than that Mandalorian thing they put out a couple months ago, eh?
Yep.
When did this is a game, part of a game, you said?
Yes.
When did this come out?
The game itself, I think, is somewhere in the 2000s. I'm if I had to guess, probably somewhere in the 2008. If I had to guess.
Okay, so it's been a while. So Star Wars was still viable when this came out then,
Yes.
before Disney killed it.
Full on Star Wars right here. Finally, a worthy opponent. Ooh, nice move. All right, go ahead and pause it roughly there, PvP.
Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. Pause.
All right, that was the third trailer of the old stuff, roughly.
Okay.
So, what'd you think of that?
Lots of battles like I'm used to in Star Wars.
Hmm.
See, this is why I prefer Star Trek, because I prefer Star Trek when they have to think through a problem to solve it. Whereas Star Wars, you've got to admit, Dan, Star Wars is a lot of action. Bang, bang, boom, boom, guys killing each other with lightsabers and blasters and whatever. Which is fine. I'm not one of these Star Wars haters by any means. I mean, I enjoyed the first couple of films way back when I saw them in the theater, but I never was a big Star Wars guy because I just found it's like, okay, there's action, action, more action, more action after that action, and it's like, okay, I'm good, but I don't need any more action. That's my thing with Star Wars. Whereas Star Trek, I like Mr. Spock. I love, Kirk and Spock and McCoy thinking their way through a problem. That's always going to be my thing. That's what I really enjoy watching because, they're not using the phasers. They're not, automatically attacking. Sometimes they think, well, let's review our options before we take action on something. That's kind of my thing. That's why I like Star Trek. I don't want to insult Star Wars fans like yourself by saying I find Star Trek more thoughtful, but I have to say, I mean, let's face it, you know yourself that Star Wars is a more action oriented franchise than
Yes, it
Trek.
is.
You know,
Yes,
so
and
that's my 2 cents.
yeah, and I would agree with that. But I would also say if you actually dig into it a little bit more, well, my expanded universe fan here is fanning out too. But if you read a lot of Star Wars books or novels, it flushes out the universe a lot more, and it goes through the factions and all that, and to get into the meat of everything. And there are fans that study that, and I do watch a few YouTubers actually study that when they do character breakdowns or lore breakdowns on organizations within the Star Wars universe.
Okay. Well, I mean,
So,
I guess it's just how it goes according to your interest level, and my interest level for Star Wars has always been moderate at best. Whereas I love Star Trek because TOS is always going to be my favorite show, even though there's probably half a dozen other TV shows I like just as much, equally. But I kind of like a show where it's not. I mean, I love action. Don't get me wrong. I love actions and battles
but you want some
stuff going
story
up.
meat on it, in other words.
I just like some background story with the characters kind of coming to the conclusion that they absolutely need to fight, and that's when it makes more sense to me. I'll put it that way.
Mm. So I'll just come out and say, PB, do you want to continue watching this little movie, or do you want to close it out and move on to something else? It's your call.
I would really love to watch a Star Trek episode.
Mm. All right. Well, we can go ahead and close this out then if you want, PvP.
Okay, I
But
can do
sadly, we won't be, we won't be able to do it to the Star Trek episode since we're in the latter half of my hour. So sorry to disappoint you, PvP. But I'm going to start wrapping it up around this time. So if you want to give a little promotion about yourself, like what type of music do you cover and artists and all that, go ahead. Like, what do you do for?
Yeah, okay.
For
If you want to wrap it up, that's cool. Mainly 60s, 70s, 80s. I got a sprinkling of 50s, probably a couple of 90s songs here and there. Smashing Pumpkins, probably for sure. And that's pretty much it. I haven't really done any modifications to the channel in a while now. So, but there's probably thousands of hours of music on there anyway. So I don't really need to update it. I mean, there's lots of stuff to listen to. Let's put it that way.
And every new subscription or watchman on PvP's part on his channel for you to check out helps him earn more dollars and hopefully officially retire so he doesn't have to have a day job unless he enjoys his
And I
day
think
job.
it's going to be a while before I get monetized. Actually, I'm still hovering at 122 subs, so, which isn't bad for a channel that I don't do much work on. But you know, I don't really care about being monetized. I got my day job that I work a few days a week.
All right, PvP, and I could barely hear you, PvP, but
Uh-oh.
on my part, I'm the Sci-Fi Historian. This channel I cover different sci-fi TV shows, movies, pop culture, and discussions and all that. I do my sci-fi watch parties usually on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, with my co-host if he's up for it. He usually is. And I do upload a new video on this channel towards the end of the piece and the beginning of next week. I do my live stream usually on Saturdays between 2 and 4 p.m. Pacific time. And then I do have another channel called Old Horse Sorcerer Dan. That one I cover Japanese anime and cartoons in general. And right now on that channel, we're in the middle of the Image and Shadow season 1. And I do the watch parties dinner on Fridays, 8 p.m. Pacific time, usually after Girls Walton streams. And then beyond that, I try to upload a new video on that channel towards the end of the piece and beginning next week. And to everyone watching, live long and prosper, and may the force be with you. And have a good day, night, or afternoon, wherever you are. And good afternoon, everyone.
Night, folks.